Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Borgia, alongside co-host Gabe Layden and Ben Lotman. I'm shocked that actually happened this time. It usually happens
got
when
it
we
in. You
end
got
the
it in.
show.
It's always the balloons with this guy.
Dude,
Dude, I'm
what's
just hyped.
going on with that?
Bro, I'm just hyped today, okay? I'm excited.
All right, how we feeling today, guys?
Playoff basketball is here. Great time of year. I mean, we just had March Madness end a few weeks ago, but now we get more playoff basketball, so I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, Gabe?
Yeah, we're getting into mid-April playoff basketball. That means it's Stephen Curry time. So just check the date.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited.
Today for our show, we're going to be talking some NBA playoff predictions. We're going to give our fan player of the week, talk about some NHL playoffs, and then preview the NFL draft with our top 5 guys that we just like. Not top 5 in general, as in talent, just who we like. Let's get us started. We'll start with the play-in. Which side do you guys want to start on? East or
Let's
West?
do the East, because the West is more like intense. Let's just start with the East because I think it's pretty clear cut. Well, I think it is.
Okay. You have the 9th and the 10th seed of the Atlanta Hawks versus the Chicago Bulls. How will this be played out?
I like the Bulls. I think they're coming in hot. They've played well the last week of the season. They gave the Knicks a run for their money in the must-win game for the Knicks. So I like the Bulls. I know the Hawks have some Trae Young's back, but he hasn't played in a while. He just came back. I don't even know if he's gonna play. I'm assuming he's gonna play. But yeah, I just like what the Bulls have right now. They have some decent young guards on that team, so I think they're gonna pull that game out.
Gabe?
I'll be the first one to say this does not matter at all. I don't think this game matters at all. I think both of these teams are generally like most years they're a lottery team, both of them. I guess the Bulls win because I like what they're doing. I mean, I hate Zach LaVine. He's terrible. But, like, the rest of the team is okay. I don't really like DeMar DeRozan either. I don't even know what I'm saying. The team kind of is – I just don't like the team. Whatever. They'll beat the Hawks because they're the Atlanta Hawks. And they'll just lose to whoever loses between the Sixers and the Heat. That's what I got.
This is interesting from both sides from you guys. Because I'm going with Atlanta. Yes, they aren't the greatest, right? But playoff Trae Young is different. You've seen what he's done. He destroyed the Sixers. He destroyed New York. He's destroyed teams in the past, and he will do this again. The Bulls are a choking team. I truly believe Trae Young will take them out of the play-in tournament.
Out of the what?
They will be
winning
the
2
AC.
games.
They will be the AC.
Wow, that's a crazy take.
They will be the AC. Watch.
Does that mean
Wait,
Watch.
these are the Sixers?
Well, who do you have winning the other game?
Moving on, 7th and 8th seed, we have the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. I have the 76ers pulling out of this one.
Okay.
So you got the Hawks over the Heat in a playoff game, is what you're telling me.
Yes, I do.
That's
in
definitely
Miami.
possible.
I think that's impossible. That's not going to happen.
I'm not a Heat guy.
Take it as you wish. Some people said the same thing about NC State. Oh, they're not going that far. Made it all the way to the Final Four.
The Heat have proven that they're playoff performers. Every year they get past where they're supposed to go. Every year.
The Hawks are
always
playoff
happens.
Performers.
And that's why I'm picking the Sixers to beat the Heat by 15 points.
I would rather have Trae Young lead my team instead of Jimmy Butler at this given moment because of how old Jimmy Butler is.
I don't know.
No disrespect to Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy has
to Jimmy Butler.
The Heat have a lot more talent than the Atlanta Hawks in general. Like, who is the Hawks' second best player?
DeJounte.
Yeah,
he's solid, actually. You can't even say
DeJounte Murray's good.
DeJounte
Murray's good. He's had a few game winners and all.
The Heat have Bam. They have Tyler Hero. They have what's the rookie's name from UCLA? That I always forget the name of. Jaime Jaquez.
It's all right. He fell off second half. Half.
I am picking the Sixers to beat the Heat by 15 points. I think they'll win comfortably, and Joel Embiid will get a nice little rest in the fourth quarter.
Same with you, Gabe?
Not really. I mean, I like the Heat. I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm not a huge Jimmy Butler guy, but at the end of the day, I like the team. I think they're very,
You're
very,
taking the
very well
Heat
coached.
over the
Yeah,
Sixers?
I think they have the best coach in the
Hater.
NBA, but
I agree with
and
that.
Eric Spoelstra is going to lead the Heat
The only other
to
coach who can
the
compete with him
7th
is
seed.
Nick
Yeah.
Nurse.
Yeah, I think Nick
Only
Nurse
other
is a
coach who can
top
compete
is a
with him is
top
Nick Nurse.
5 coach in the league, though. Yeah, Nick Nurse is definitely top 5 coach.
All right.
And I have the Heat as the 8th seed, by the way. I didn't say that, but I have the Heat beating the Bulls in that second playing game. Or I guess
and I have the Sixers
third.
beating it would also be the Bulls to reach that 8th seed.
I don't even know if I want that as a Sixers fan, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, Western Conference play-in time.
This is easy for me. I'm gonna spit it straight right here, right now. This is easy. It's gonna be the Lakers. It's gonna be the Warriors. Why? They won't let either of them lose. They will not. Not in the play-in. They make too much money off of LeBron playing and Curry playing to watch them lose. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. Whether LeBron has to drop 60 in a damn playing game.
Yeah. So I agree. I got the Lakers advancing to play the Denver Nuggets in the first round. I have the Warriors beating the Kings, but then I have the Pelicans beating the Warriors because I think this Pelicans team is going to start to be one of the better teams in the West. Zion has come on really strong in the second half, and the Warriors, what they've done really well is they're rebounding. I believe they're top 5 in the league since the All-Star break in rebounding. But if any team's going to compete with that, it's going to be New Orleans, who gives teams a lot of problems inside with their inside scoring. So I got the Pelicans as the 8th seed and the Lakers as the 7th seed.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I do have the Lakers beating the Pelicans, and I also have the Warriors beating the Kings, which I don't think we should overlook the Kings, though, because they're a solid team, and
They've struggled down the stretch, though.
They struggled down the stretch, but when you look at their playoff performances last year, I don't think you should underestimate them. That being said, Stephen Curry is Stephen Curry, and he's going to beat the Kings. He's going to build the entire Golden State Warriors franchise past the Sacramento Kings. And then you have the Pelicans Warriors. It's tough for me because I'm a huge Stephen Curry guy. I like
Curry won't lose in the play-in. I promise you, it won't happen.
I agree with Chris here. He's going to do whatever it takes. He's the 5th best player of all time. He's one of the clutchest players I've ever seen. Stephen Curry, LeBron James, both advanced to the playoffs. And yeah, the NBA wants that to happen. Not that they choose who wins games, but I'm not one of those guys. But, if there's a couple calls here and there for LeBron and Curry, I wouldn't be too shocked.
Am I confused right now, or did I hear you say top 5 player of all time?
We can discuss that later, but yeah,
oh my god,
Mr. Gabe over there. If you didn't know, if he could marry Steph Curry, he would. I'm just gonna leave that there.
All right. Well, moving on. Looking back at the East, you would have you guys both picked the Bulls, all right? So it would be the Bulls against the Celtics. And I have the Hawks against the Celtics.
Heat.
Oh no, Heat. You guys have the Heat. Yeah, I have the Hawks against the Celtics.
Well, I think we all have different things because I have Sixers, Knicks, and Gabe has Heat, Knicks, and then so it's all a little bit different. But I don't. I mean, maybe it matters for me because I have the Sixers beating the Knicks in 6.
Okay.
Not even 7.
No, I just don't.
Start with the first in the AC though.
Okay. So I have the Celtics. I have the Celtics winning in 5 against the Heat.
Okay, Gabe.
Heat still won. Yeah, Gabe.
Yeah, so I have 1 versus 8. I have the Sixers and Celtics. That's just a tough matchup for you guys. I have the Celtics in 5. They're just too good.
Yeah.
Landon versus the Celtics. I said this.
That's a close one. You don't underestimate Trae Young in the playoffs.
I said this on WHIP radio, and I'm sticking with it. Give me Trae Young in 7. Give me Trae Young in 7. They're the team that knock Boston off the pedestal, and you will watch it happen. Watch.
Would that be the biggest playoff upset in NBA history?
Yes.
It's gotta be,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Gotta
Yes. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And guess what? Later on, we'll be talking some hockey. And you know what the Hawks reminded me of? The same thing as the Florida Panthers. One really good guy and a bunch of mediocre guys around them that just know how to play good. So, what did he do? He upset the greatest hockey team we've seen in history. So, I can see it happening. And you guys watch. Oh, Trey's coming. And he's coming for that neck. He's coming for it.
You're going to be really excited next year when Trae Young's on the Spurs. You're going to... That's going to be his favorite team, bro.
So now...
So you think they're going to get... Whatever. We'll go over that.
Okay. Now we have second and seventh seed. I have Sixers and Knicks, and I have Sixers and 4.
Okay, if we sweep the Knicks, I would start probably losing my mind. I have Sixers in 6.
Ben, bro, they have no Randall, and there's no one containing Embiid on that team.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying 6. I don't think they can contain Embiid, but at the same time, I don't know if Embiid is gonna be able to play.
Don't even hit me with Brunson. He's inconsistent.
I'm not. It's only for me about Embiid's health. I think if the Sixers end up going up 3-0, they might rest Embiid for game 4. And then, they'll lose that game, and then they'll play game 5, they might lose, and then game 6 they'll wrap it up at home. So I have Sixers in 6 against the Knicks. This Knicks team, they're good, but I don't know outside of Brunson, if Brunson is contained, I don't know where their scoring is gonna come from. That's my only issue.
Gabe.
That's solid. I have the Knicks and the Heat, so a little bit different. I have the Knicks advancing in 6 games. I will say, though, no Julius Randle, that's correct. Ben will get this reference. Julius Randle is, I would say, the equivalent to having Danny Podolsky on your dodgeball team, right? We have this one guy on this team, very good arm.
I know who he is.
There you go. He makes these mistakes that you just it just makes your head spin. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Julius Randle watch this make those shots, and he's gonna hear
but they call him.
This.
They call him Julius Randle, the human blade, for good reason, right? He does spins whenever he gets the ball. He forces shots. He's one of those players that you can take a step forward because he can make a field goal for you, but you take 2 steps backwards because he does some ridiculous stuff on the other end, or both ends. So, long story short, Knicks in 6. Don't underestimate New York, though.
He's gonna watch this episode and hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows. We've told him.
Moving on. You know what? Let's just complete the East while we're at it. Then we'll move into the West. 6th seed and 3rd seed, Pacers and Bucks.
All right. So here's my big upset. I have the Pacers beating the Bucks. I'm very concerned about the health of. I'm concerned about the health of Giannis. I don't know if
it's only for game 1.
But they haven't confirmed. There's no information about it, and those kind of injuries, you never know. Either way, I'm sorry. You know who their head coach is. We know him very well. His name is Glenn Rivers, and I'm sorry, but that guy doesn't know how to coach in the playoffs. This Indiana team right now. This Indiana team has had one of the best offenses in the league at certain stretches, and you look at it, they're coming in hot. They just put up the highest scoring points total in the NBA this season in their last game. I think they're hot, and I think this Bucks team is going to have some retooling to do in the offseason around Giannis because they're old. I didn't like that contract extension for Drew Holiday. I think that's a bad deal for the Bucks. I mean, as a Sixers fan, I was happy about it, but I feel like Drew Holiday hasn't been the same guy this year as he's been in previous seasons. And Chris Middleton, he's good, but he's just coming back. He's not all the way there. I don't know. This Pacers team, literally, I think this is the perfect matchup for them because I think they would have lost to either of the 2 other teams. But I had the Pacers moving on there. So kind of crazy, but
you guys, I mean, you might not know this yet, but as big of a Stephen Curry guy as I am, I might be even bigger of a Damian Lillard hater. So I respect that
awful.
Pick, right?
That's awful.
I respect that pick, and I see the Pacers as being. I don't know if you guys remember the series a couple of years ago, or more than a couple of years ago now. I think it might have been the first year that LeBron returned to Cleveland when they played Indiana with Paul George. And I don't remember if they pushed him to 7 or what the final count of the games was, but I felt like every single game was very close. And I
It
think
was
this
either
has
6 or
potential to be a
7. Yeah.
similar series. So I
Hmm.
don't see Indiana taking 3 games in this series, but I think it's going to be Bucks in a very close 5 games. Just because, yeah, Doc Rivers is the head coach, but he's not on the floor. Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the floor. And you know who else isn't on the floor? Thanasis Antetokounmpo. He's on the bench the entire time. They don't have to worry about him making stupid mistakes. Give the ball to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let Damian Lillard facilitate. I think it'll be okay.
Disrespect to Thanasis is crazy. He didn't even do nothing. Bird didn't even deserve that. No, give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks in 5. I agree. Pat Bev's my guy. We all know this. He's gonna go crazy. He's gonna go crazy. Halliburton hasn't seen a guy like Pat Bev, especially in the playoffs, because he's never been there. He's not gonna realize how tough it is. When you look at it, the only guy who has playoff experience on that team is Pascal Siakam. And what happened the last 3 playoff series he had, or 2? He sucked. Sixers beat him bad. What was it, last year, Ben? It was, right? Yeah.
I think it was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we beat them bad in the first round. So
Yeah.
it shows you. Next up, we have Cavs and the Orlando Magic. I'll start this one off. This team's super aggressive. I really like what they got going on. Give me the Orlando Magic. They're aggressive. Paolo is that guy. I think Paolo can lead this team. I think Donovan Mitchell is not going to play up to what they want him to play as, because I think he really just wants out. And I think the big piece of that is going to be him having a rough series. Evan Mobley's still really young. He can't contain Paolo. Darius Garland started to fall off this year. His numbers went down. Jared Allen's going to do Jared Allen things, but, I mean, who's containing Paolo and Franz? Because they just have a really good connection together.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump
That's
on that.
weird, too, because you don't see a power forward and a small forward having a connection like that, but that's weird. Go on.
Yeah, it is interesting. I'm gonna hop on that. I will say the series is going 7. I just think both these teams are really, really solid. They have holes, but I think they both have holes. I think it's whoever's going to be able to capitalize on the other team's holes. But I really like this Orlando defense. Their defense is top 5 in efficiency in the league this season. I think they might be the best. I don't remember. I know they're top 5, but they might be the best in defensive efficiency. And I like them to win that game 7 on the road in Cleveland, which is a hard place to go in the playoffs. But this Orlando team is young. They don't know what they're in for. So, you hear NBA players talk about it all the time. Honestly, most sports or professional sports athletes say, young teams are dangerous because they don't know what they're getting into, type of thing. So I like Orlando in 7 games. I think it's going to be a really, really fun series. And yeah, I do agree that Donovan Mitchell probably will not be on the Cavaliers next season.
Yeah, I'd say Orlando in 6. Go on, Gabe.
I agree with Ben that this is a 7-game series no matter where you or who you have winning. I tend to be on the opposite side, though. This is 51-49 for me. I'm going Cavs. And it was funny because Chris was giving his reasoning. Oh, Donovan Mitchell is not going to be that guy. Darius Garland, his numbers went down, right? You're naming Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. These are all very good players. Orlando on the other side, they have Franz Wagner, and I like him. They have Paulo Banchero. Cole Anthony is pretty good, but
Jalen Suggs, bro.
I don't think they don't have the same firepower that the Cavs do. I'm taking the Cavs in Game 7.
Wendell Carter Jr.
Very close. I like Wendell Carter. He's not bad, but
all right.
Against Evan Mobley, I don't know.
Moving on, it would be Boston versus, we have the Magic.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get this started. I have this series going 6. Maybe that's a little surprising.
Right, well,
but I have Boston coming out.
I have Atlanta against the Magic.
Yeah,
give me the Magic in 5.
All right, I have Boston beating the Magic in 6.
Hold on. I just want to clarify. So Chris went on this whole tangent about Trae Young. Trae Young's going to do this. He's going to do that. He makes it past Boston, and then he drops to Orlando in 5. Like, how does that work?
It just happens. He
He just
uses
lost
all
to
of his
Markelle
steam
Fultz now?
on
Markelle
Boston.
Fultz Legacy Series. That's
Listen,
what he
let
thinks.
me
Markelle
put it
Fultz
to you
Legacy
this way.
Series.
Okay.
Let me put it to you this way. For all my movie fans out there, right? You know how Thanos wiped away half the planet and then he just lost after that? He used all of his steam.
Okay.
He ran out of steam.
That's
I
a fair.
respect that.
That's
Takes
fair.
down the
Yeah.
best team in the league, then you lose to Orlando. It makes sense. You're not beating Orlando. Not with
I mean, the
not
first
with
part
this
doesn't
one.
make sense. The second part, maybe a little bit more so.
All right.
I'll keep this short. I have the Celtics in 5 over Cleveland. I don't think that's going to be that close of a series. Celtics are just going to run through the East, I think.
All right. Now, well, I have Milwaukee. You also have Milwaukee. You have the Pacers against the Sixers. And you have the Heat.
I have the.
Right? Gabe, you had the Heat.
I have.
Or did you have the Sixers?
I have the Bucks and Knicks.
Oh, Bucks and Knicks. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you had
Okay.
that. Okay.
So I'm going to say the Sixers are getting over the hump. I think bringing in Nick Nurse and what they brought in at the trade deadline, I think Buddy Hield was a nice acquisition. I think, they brought in some other guys. I think they're going to make that conference finals run this year, just like the Lakers did last year, coming out as the 7th seed from the play-in. The Lakers did it last year, so I don't think people can call me insane for predicting it. And look, Joel Embiid should be ramped up by this point of the playoffs, hopefully. And you got Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, the best pick and roll combo in the league statistically this season. There's been 3 players this year that have had multiple 50-point games, and 2 of them are Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. So they're going to be really hard to contain offensively. So I got the Sixers beating the Pacers in a sweep in 4. I just think the Sixers match up really well with the Pacers.
I have the Sixers versus Bucks. Doc Rivers a choke artist. I think this is where their rope gets cut since they don't have as much depth as the Sixers. Let alone, Giannis is going to be tired, especially with that injury. It's gonna play some effect coming in a little bit later on. So I think come time, I think the Sixers will wind up winning that to go to the conference finals.
I'll be honest. I think having a great coach elevates the team much more than having a terrible coach makes them worse. So I'm not a big fan of the Doc Rivers really making them so much worse, even though their record shows that. But I still have, at the end of the day, Giannis is on the court, Doc Rivers is not. And I think that Giannis Antetokounmpo is still one of, maybe still even the best player in the NBA. And I think he's just able to, I mean, the Knicks are
a good team. I would say Embiid's better than Giannis, though. And the fact that, not all time or anything, but currently Embiid's better than Giannis. And the fact that Doc Rivers couldn't do it with Embiid, I don't think he's doing it with Giannis.
I'm sorry, but Joel Embiid was having statistically the best season of all time before his injury. So I don't know, he averaged more points than minutes played. Yeah, that's insane.
I respect that, but Bradley Beal led the league in points per game a couple seasons ago, and that doesn't make him the best player in the league.
But
there's a difference. Does he have an MVP under his belt now?
Team. That wasn't
MVP is voted on by the fan or by the media. I don't think MVP. There's only one of the 2 that has an NBA ring. I think that playoff success is what puts
I have the Sixers in the conference finals, so maybe I have.
So you have Knicks and Bucks. Who are you? You're picking the Bucks over the Knicks.
I'm taking the Bucks in 7. I think it's going to be a closer series than a lot of people would anticipate, but I think the Bucks win it.
All right.
Conference finals time.
Sixers versus Orlando. I have Purdue 2.0. Purdue made it all the way to the finals because of their best player, who is a big man. It's the exact same thing. Tell me I'm wrong. It's the exact same thing. The Sixers have the easiest road to go to the finals this year after Boston gets knocked off the pedestal. And watch it happen. The Sixers will be in the finals this year. And my West team will be discussed soon.
Yeah, the Sixers have an easy path to the conference finals, but I think that's where it ends. I just cannot see the Sixers team beating the Celtics.
They won't play the Celtics, so you don't got to worry.
Well, this is my prediction, and I have the Celtics making it all the way. I have the Celtics in a 7-game series. I think that home game being in Boston is going to be really harmful for the Sixers. But I do have them forcing it to 7, and I think that this Sixers team is going to have a lot to look forward to next season, especially when they bring in Paul George, because that's pretty much, I feel like that's, pretty
Consensus.
much there. I don't know how much I like it, but I think him going for next season, him next to Tyrese Maxey is just going to be really deadly. So we'll see, but I have them losing the conference finals. But if that happens, I'll be a happy Sixers fan because they just need to make it past that second round for me to be happy. If they lose in 7, I mean, okay, I'll be happy after a few weeks of recovering from losing a game 7 in the conference finals. But I have the Celtics advancing out East.
I
Gabe,
just want to say, like, I'm going to be genuinely concerned for both your mental health. After the Sixers drop the first play-in game, they have to play the Celtics in the first round and lose and win like one game in that series.
Oh,
I'm going to
see,
be genuinely concerned because
not
both of
even
you have
gonna
them making the
win.
finals, correct?
Yeah, but
Or
Yeah.
if the
no,
Sixers,
but you're one game away from making the finals, so like basically the same deal.
if the
I
Sixers lose tomorrow, I'm gonna be so surprised. I just don't see it happening. But
Gabe,
anyway,
you have Bucks and Celtics.
so I have the Celtics in 6. I
I
think
assume that.
Giannis is able to will his way to 2 wins against that just absolutely dominant Celtics team, but he can't really do much more than that. I have the Celtics in 6.
It's fair. Okay, so to give the reiteration, I have Sixers in the finals. You both have Boston in the finals.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the West. First game, Thunder versus Warriors. I'm gonna take the Thunder in 5.
I have Thunder versus Pelicans. I'm also going to take the Thunder in 5. I just think they have, although I
Too
will
good of a
say,
team.
the
Very young,
interior
but too good of a team.
Yeah, I will say OKC's center, like big man depth, gives me some concern. But I think if Chet doesn't get into foul trouble, they'll be okay. 'Cause outside of
Why?
Chet, they don't really have big
Jalen
men.
Williams is good.
But he's not a post defender. He's good at defending the wing. He's not good at defending in the post.
We're
And
talking about the same
statistically,
Jalen
OKC has
Williams,
been
right? The one from Arkansas.
he's just not a good interior defender
He's
in my opinion.
solid.
So I have the Pelicans stealing a game, but I have OKC moving on.
Gabe, I know you have Warriors and Thunder.
No. Yeah, so I have the Warriors and the Thunder. I'm obviously a huge Steph Curry guy, and I think this is his time of the year. However, the surrounding cast is just absolutely not there. And it's confusing to see because it's like somewhat similar, yeah, minus a few really good 3-point shooters that they had a couple years ago when they made the finals. So that being said, Curry wills his team to 3 wins, but I think the Thunder take it in 7, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's a close series, though. I have a close
I
series.
have the Lakers on the other side against the Nuggets. I'm gonna take the Nuggets in 6. I think it's fair. The Nuggets beat them last year. What's stopping them from doing it again? They have the depth.
Yeah.
They were literally the champs last year. I definitely see it.
This one pains me to say, but Lakers in 6, baby. LeBron is the GOAT. LeBron's the GOAT. AD is going to lock up Jokic, and this Nuggets team is not going to be a dynasty on my watch. I cannot see this Nuggets team win again. Everybody has them winning the chip, and in every prediction I've seen from most people, they have the Nuggets winning the chip. I cannot see that happening. I have the Lakers in 6 games. Call me crazy, but LeBron's got one more run in him.
Okay.
I honestly, I don't think you're that crazy. I don't have the Lakers.
I think he is. I think he is.
I think, look, Anthony Davis has been healthy so far. LeBron James has been LeBron James to some extent, being that he's 38, 39 years old. And, D'Lo has really found his place, and so is Austin Reeves with that team.
You're a D'Lo lover. I don't want to hear it.
I am a D'Lo lover. And, the NBA, there's no more exciting time than seeing D'Angelo Russell in the No, I'm joking. But in all seriousness, though, I have the Nuggets in 6. Unfortunately, I think Jokic is just too good of a player for that Lakers team to handle. And I think it's going to be a close 6 games. But when it comes down to it, the Nuggets are just built for that playoff, performance. And, Jamal Murray and Jokic, they're just like a solid all-around team. I think they make it past the Lakers in 6.
Next up, we have Suns and Timberwolves. I am going to take the Timberwolves in 4. The Suns are going to collapse. They are not a great team. You've seen it in the past. They've had their trio before. They literally put up, what was it, last week? Like 14 points in like the first half or something crazy like that. They're awful.
Chris have different. Me and Chris have very different takes because I have Suns in 6.
Yeah, okay.
I just think the Suns have more. The Suns are way more athletic. I think what you saw last year is that, or at least in the past, is Rudy Gobert doesn't work in the playoffs. He doesn't work in the playoffs. When he was on Utah, they always choked. He's choked when in previous, or I guess did they make the playoffs last year? I think he choked last year if I remember correctly on the T-Wolves. And I have the Suns winning. I just think who's stopping Kevin Durant on that T-Wolves team?
There's just nobody.
Way.
I'm willing.
I have Suns in 6.
I'm willing to wait until I am 21 and bet $500 if the Suns somehow win. I will blow $500 at the casino when I'm 21. It's not gonna happen. It will not happen.
Clip it.
They suck as a team. They suck. They suck. They suck. Bradley Beal is awful. Awful. KD is KD. And Devin Booker is Devin Booker. But with that supporting cast, sucks. You're not going nowhere.
What do you mean?
I don't care if you have Bobo.
Grayson Allen's been the best 3-point shooter in the league. Grayson Allen has been the best 3-point shooter in the league this year.
I don't care, and they just paid him $70 million. Have fun with that.
It's a great contract.
With that.
It's a great contract.
That was stupid.
Great contract. Great value.
What was the point in that?
He's a great 3-and-D guy.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this. And you take this as you want. You can take it on the chin. You can take it on the head. However you want. When the Suns had their team in 2021, right, when they went to the finals, they should have stuck with that squad because that squad would have panned out better than this one. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. DeAndre Ayton had to go. DeAndre Ayton had to go.
DeAndre Ayton is one of the most underrated players in the league for no reason.
Okay, well, I don't like Ayton, but I like the rest of the team.
No, he gets so much hate. He was averaging like a double-double in Phoenix. I don't want to hear disrespect on that.
So you think
Chris Paul was good.
Mikal Bridges and not gotten Kevin Durant.
Mikal Bridges has played more games in the NBA than anybody.
That doesn't. Mikal Bridges
6 straight seasons without a missed game.
He hasn't been awful. He's just not a first option. That's all it is.
Did you just call him awful?
Look at his efficiency numbers. They're just disgusting.
Crazy. Would you rather have him or Bradley Beal?
Somebody that should be like a second or third option be the first option.
Mikal or Bradley Beal?
But I'm saying he has statistically played awful.
You
can say what you want.
Mikal or Bradley Beal?
Probably as a third option, Mikal. As a not third option, Bradley Beal.
Awful.
But
awful.
Anyway, we still haven't heard from Gabe on this matchup.
Yeah, you guys know how I feel about KD at this point, probably. I think he's a serial loser, and he is not clutch at all.
I agree. It's the T-Wolves.
I think there's a lot of hype going into this series. Honestly, it could be a good series, but I don't think it will be. I think the T-Wolves get it. I think the Suns can get 2 games. Honestly, I think they just have the talent and they have the shooting to be able to get 2 games.
The Suns are lucky to get 2 games.
But we've seen a new Minnesota Timberwolves this season that we just haven't seen in the past. And they're just better, I think, than the Suns are. I think the T-Wolves get in 6. And I think Karl-Anthony Towns can show out.
Gobert can have a fun game.
Anthony Edwards versus Devin Booker is going to be interesting also.
That's going to be, yeah. I'm excited to see Ant in action, even though I think he's going to lose. But I'm excited to watch him.
Don't say anything good about Ant. You don't have any words to say. Keep it to yourself.
He's a KD sympathizer. That's what he is.
You're I am not.
Hater. Do not put those words. Do not. I hate Kevin. He's my most hated player in the NBA. I despise Kevin Durant. He's a snake. But I do have him winning. Anyway.
Clippers
versus Mavs. I have
Clippers
in 5.
6. Clippers in 6.
Clippers in 5.
The Mavs have the MVP. Give me the Clippers in 6.
Didn't we see this?
Honestly, same thing. But
this is what we saw a couple of years back, right? This is where Luka really became a household name.
Yeah.
This is the different Clippers team.
This is a different Clippers team, though. You're absolutely right. I have the Clippers in 7, though. I think Luka pushes it. Luka and Kyrie, actually, It's both of them.
So now
Kyrie can push to 7,
we
but the Clippers take it.
have
OKC versus
Timberwolves.
Clippers.
Oh, you want to do that game? Okay.
Yeah, I have the Clippers in 6 against the Thunder. I think. Look,
Yeah, I agree with that
if
too.
Kawhi is healthy, I think that team has so much playoff experience, and I like Ty Lue as a coach. I think he's won a chip before. I think he's the perfect coach for that team. And look, I like the depth they have, and that three-headed monster, when healthy this season, has played exceptionally well. And OKC just doesn't have that playoff experience right now. They're going to be a top 3 seed every season over the next probably decade or so, maybe around a decade. They're going to be like a dynasty level team. OKC is going to win a championship over the next decade, but it's not this season. And I have the Clippers advancing.
Me and Gabe have Timberwolves versus Nuggets.
Well, hold on. I didn't go, but
I assume you had Clippers anyways, but
yeah, no, I have the Clippers in 6 also. Across the board. I will say though, building off that big 3, this is kind of what we saw in Brooklyn a couple years ago, except that when we got to the playoffs, we had about 1.5. We had KD, and then Kyrie played like 3 games, and Harden played like 3 games in that Bucks series, and we still took them to 7. So if they're fully healthy, I think this should be no problem for them.
Yeah, Kawhi is a question mark right now health-wise, so we'll see what's up with that. But
yeah.
Nuggets and T-Wolves, I have the Nuggets in 5. They're too good. They're too good. They're the champs.
Oh, yeah. Gabe, you go, because I have a different matchup than you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the Nuggets in 4. I think this is a sweep. I think the Nuggets just match up well against them. And, I mean, Jokic versus Cat or Gobert, and whatever they throw at him, I think he's just going to be able to take it.
You guys are going to hate me, but I have the Lakers in 7. I have an LA matchup in the conference finals.
Wait, so
we heard you say that earlier.
No, Lakers over Suns. I had the Suns.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I agree with that. I like that.
Disgusting.
I think AD is going to cook the Suns inside. I do think it's going to go 7, but I think AD is going to have a disgustingly monstrous series against the Suns. Like the Suns don't have a good defensive center at all. So
I have
not a good matchup.
Clippers versus Nuggets. Is that what you have, Gabe?
I have the Clippers and the Nuggets. Yep.
Okay. I have Clippers versus Lakers. Should I go first? Since you guys have the same, or
yeah,
go
on.
Go?
You got it.
I have the Los Angeles Clippers heading to the finals in 6.
That's an interesting series.
I don't even know. I don't even know how much more analysis I need. I just think that three-headed monster is. They're going to do something this year. I'll let you know how they're going to do in the finals. But I really like that team with Ty Lue this year. And Ty Lue has coached LeBron. He probably knows some things to try and slow him down. Maybe. I don't know.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Clippers and Nuggets. I have the Nuggets in 5. This is the Nuggets. This is the Nuggets.
Boring.
And again.
So boring.
All right.
I was hoping that both of you wouldn't have the Clippers advancing because I wanted to be the only one, but I realized that they're going to be a popular pick. I have the Clippers in 7. The three-headed monster. James Harden can perform in the playoffs, and he'll show that. So, I mean, Kawhi is no question. And Paul George, I think, has that in him, even though there's a whole narrative that he's a playoff joker and all this. I think the three of them can combine forces and just be a three-headed monster that is virtually unstoppable.
So to give everybody our 2 teams, I have Sixers and Nuggets.
I have Celtics and Clippers.
Same thing as Ben, Celtics and Clippers.
I feel like
I'll
Celtics
start
and
it off
Clippers.
then.
Yeah, you go first.
This is the Embiid-Jokic matchup that we really, really wanted. And who's dominated in every one of those matchups? Who's dominated in every one of those matchups?
Joel Embiid has dominated Nikola Jokic.
Well, hold on. That's only when he's not faking an injury that he's dominated.
Well, dude, he was not faking an injury. He was out for 6 months after that. He should have sat out more, honestly.
Is the year, Ben. This is the year. There will be a parade on Broad Street. Philadelphia will be a happy city once again. This will be the long awaited drought finally over, where the Sixers finally get it
Chris,
done.
Why would they
Embiid
have a
finally
Braylon
gets his
Rush if the
ring.
Nuggets win, or if the Clippers win, or
Or
The
Nuggets?
Sixers
Yeah,
are
forget.
winning. The Sixers
No,
are winning.
I think they would have a
Chris,
parade in
Chris,
Denver if they
Chris,
won.
Where's Brooklyn?
just stop giving me hope.
Where's Brooklyn?
In
Okay,
New
then.
York.
Listen, Ben. It'll be game
I just
6
don't
of the
want hope.
series. Listen, it'll be game 6 of the series. Sixers will be down 2 with 10 seconds to go. And they're going to give the ball to the most consistent shooter on the entire team. In my opinion, a top 5 3-point shooter. Ricky Council, and he is going to bang it, and that'll be the finals.
Dude, Ricky Council isn't getting playoff minutes, dude.
You sure?
He's not getting playoff minutes. No.
He's one of the most consistent on the team.
He's not getting playoff minutes, but you know.
Fine. If he doesn't get minutes, Buddy healed.
Okay.
One
That's
of the
more.
two.
At least that's a realistic prediction.
One
But
of the two.
look, I hope you're correct. But I still have the Boston Chokers choking in the finals. They're gonna lose in 6 to the Clippers. I have the Clippers. You know, this matchup, the Clippers versus Celtics,
James
is a
Harden
matchup of
first ring.
I know. I didn't want to bring that up, but
Russ ring. What?
I know, but I look. It's not even that. I just think playoff Kawhi.
They're gonna do it without Blake Griffin.
Yes, I think.
Breaking news for anyone who doesn't know: Blake Griffin retired today. Hurt my soul.
Did.
Yeah, that hurt
Shout
my
out to
soul.
him.
But go on.
But I just don't trust the Celtics team in the finals. They've been there. They didn't look good at all. And look, when it comes down to it, both those teams have similar level talent. But who has the better coach? Who has the better coach? You can't tell me Boston's coach is any good. He's horrible. He's one of the worst coaches in the league. You're going to call me crazy, but that team is so insanely talented that any coach could coach that team to a 1
Doc
seed.
Rivers?
He could. He would. He would have. I'm so serious about that. Boston's coach is horrible, and he's going to get cooked by Tyronn Lue, who I don't even think is that good of a coach, but he's top.
But Brett
he's
Brown
top
coached the Celtics to a 1 seed.
Yes.
Crazy.
I don't
Go
think it's
on,
crazy.
Gabe.
That team is so deep.
Yeah, I don't know about calling them the Boston Chokers though. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, look, they lost the playoff series, or they lost the finals to the Warriors. That was just Stephen Curry's series. I don't think there is any stopping him. And in this case, it's going to be hard to stop the Clippers, especially with that Kawhi on Tatum matchup. I think you can neutralize Jason Tatum. And when you have no Jason Tatum on that Celtics team, Jaylen Brown isn't going to be doing it for you. I'm sorry. Like, I
left-handed Jaylen Brown.
Well, they call him Hansel Emmanuel or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know the reference to the basketball player without a left arm.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard that one a few
crazy.
times. Listen,
For
he
the
has no
people who
left hand.
don't know, Hansel Emmanuel is literally missing a hand. That is awful. Whoever
That's
came
what
up
they call
with that.
Jaylen Brown.
That's
I'm not making
horrible.
up that nickname. I'm just spreading it around. Don't you?
No, that's horrible.
All right, Hansel Emmanuel's going on the thumbnail now.
Yeah.
Are you
Long
actually
story
putting
short,
Hansel Emmanuel?
We'll see. We'll
Post
see.
series-
We'll see what I cook.
The depth of Boston and just like how they're so good at every single position, that will win them 3 games in the series, but the Clippers take it in 7.
All right, and that is our winners for the NBA playoffs. Moving on to our second segment, we have our players of the week. I'll start us off just because mine's really funny and I really like it.
Mine's really funny.
I went with my boy. Should I? You know what, Ben? Take the viewers for a minute. I'm gonna grab something.
Okay. All right. Well, this man always has stuff to grab. He just has things in his room. It's just
Right.
it's really interesting. All right. Let's see what does he got now?
The player I have picked, who's signed on this baseball, this bottom signature right here, Jeff Hoffman. For anyone who doesn't know why, do either of you know why I picked him?
Oh, I know why. Baseball needs to be more of a contact sport.
Did you see what happened last night, Gabe?
No, I think I missed it.
He trucked the dude at home plate. He trucked him. It looked like a football play. I wish I was kidding.
It's such a good play.
He trucked him. The dude
he got
ate
hurt.
dirt.
It's funny too. The funniest part is that
No, it was so
Rocky's
funny.
bench was so short that the guy running to home was a pitcher.
Dude, it was so funny though. He got trucked.
Yeah, and I love this quote after the game. Yeah, I wish baseball was more of a contact sport because I mean it used to be. It used to be, but
I
now it's
love
not.
Jeff Hoffman anyways, for everybody who doesn't know. He signed this
Yeah, he's
ball
awesome.
He signed this ball during the playoffs. I waited outside the stadium and I seen him come out of it. I'll just say this story because it's funny. I seen him come out of an Uber with his gear in 3 cardboard boxes. And I was like, how much are they underpaying this man that he's out here taking Ubers to the stadium? And he was so chill, such a good guy. He signed it. Every time he pitched during the playoffs, I'm not kidding, I held this baseball, and he played phenomenal every time.
He did.
And I proceeded to do it again this year. He's great. I love Jeff Hoffman a lot. So that's my pick of the week, just because I thought it was really funny that he turned into football for a minute.
All right.
Especially in a big, that was crunch time too. That was a big deal.
Yeah. My player of the week is more of a prediction and conversation I had with certain people. I think I had this conversation with, I don't know who it was, but I saw this Instagram post or tweet or whatever it was, and I thought it was hilarious. So, they said that they would love Tobias Harris forever, who Tobias Harris is my pick of the week. They would love Tobias Harris forever if after the Sixers win tomorrow night, as we record this as Tuesday night,
Jimmy
he
Butler
goes into the
over
tunnel. He says, yeah, me over Jimmy Butler in the tunnel. It would be so funny, and I hope it happens. It won't, because Tobias Harris is way too respectable of a player to do that. Tobias Harris is just a quiet, chill guy. Like, he seems like such a great person, and he gets so much hate. And even though he didn't, I mean, he's overpaid. He's still a really solid NBA player. If he was not on that contract, he'd be really solid. But
if he wasn't on that contract, I'd like him 10 times more.
Exactly. But it's not even his fault. You got to be happy for players when they get their money. I am, even the bad contracts. But I have Tobias Harris. I think the Sixers are going to win comfortably tomorrow. He's going to have a solid game, and yeah, hopefully he has a solid playoff run, because he's really been not great in the playoffs since he's been a Sixer. So, Gabe, who's your player of the week?
Before I do that, real quick, should the Sixers win tomorrow night, and Tobias Harris has a decent game, I do know one other player on that Sixers roster that happens to be a social media troll that might want to say something along the lines of that, and it might be your star center. So, though you might not be expecting it from Tobias Harris, I think Joel Embiid might be checking Twitter every now and then, looking for somebody asking him to say that. But yeah, my player of the week, I have Max Blessed Holloway, UFC. Well, he just fought lightweight, but now he's going to probably go back to featherweight. A buzzer beater knockout over the favorite Justin Gaethje.
I can't believe you're doing this to me. I can't believe you're doing this to me right now.
I'm doing this to you. A buzzer beater knockout, literally 1 second on the clock. He broke Justin Gaethje, or at least looked like he broke Justin Gaethje's nose in the first round, and just slept him for 30 seconds to a minute. He was just lying flat on the ground. I was genuinely concerned for Gaethje's health. So he won the BMF title, and he called out Ilia Topuria in the post-game or post-fight interview, which hopefully we get to see that soon. And maybe that belt changes hands now again from Topuria to Holloway.
For everyone who knows me well, knows I really like Justin Gaethje, and that this was not a fun weekend for me. Wanted Aljamain Sterling to get knocked out. Didn't happen. I hate Alex Pereira with every bone in me.
What? How do you hate Alex Pereira?
I wanted him to get knocked out so clean. I wanted to see Charles win. Got screwed there too. I want to see Jim Miller win. Got screwed there too. And why do I hate Alex Pereira? Because I'm a diehard Izzy fan, and Alex Pereira doesn't shut his stupid mouth.
He doesn't even speak English. How do you know what he's saying?
Because I know.
I know everything. You get mad.
I know everything. He followed my favorite fighter into the UFC, and he's been annoying ever since. And guess what? You know what? You know what I'm gonna say to you, Gabe?
What?
He's ducking one fighter. He's ducking a fighter.
Who's that?
You know who that fighter is?
Who?
Distract the viewers for me for a second, Ben, while I pull up a classic picture.
Okay. I have no idea what these guys are talking about. I don't watch UFC, but I mean, I've watched it before. I just don't really know like the I like watching it, but I don't know about any of the
It's
fighters.
very
So
okay. Let's see what he got. Tom Aspinall, but he's got to go up to
He's
heavyweight. I don't know if he's
ducking
going up to heavyweight.
him. He's ducking him.
I'd love to
That
see
guy
that.
right there. That guy right there. You know who else is ducking him? John Jones, because John Jones knows he will get knocked out. Clean.
Listen, I'm a big fan of seeing that John.
Clean.
I'm a big fan of the Jones versus Aspinall fight. I just don't think it's going to happen at least for the next year or so, just because Jones made it abundantly clear he's only
he was
fighting one
not
person.
good.
That's Stipe Miocic.
He also made it abundantly clear that he's not going to take a fight he's going to lose.
I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think, but John Jones is John Jones. He's the best MMA fighter of all time, regardless of what
He
you
won't
think.
beat Tom. He won't beat Tom.
all right.
It's hard for me not to say that he doesn't beat Tom Aspinall, who's like, with all due respect, like, how many guys have won that heavyweight? I mean, he's an interim champion. How many guys have held the interim or full-time champion that have now been forgotten about? And probably a decent amount.
Next up, because of timing, I think we should go into NHL and don't even because going through the whole bracket's going to be too long. I think we should kind of give like our big winners in the playoffs and who's like really going to stink, and then our two picks in the finals and who's going to win.
All right. So I'll start. I think this is Edmonton's year to finally make that run. I know they're second in the Pacific,
take.
But they're playing the Kings. The Kings are awful. I'm sorry.
The Kings are not awful.
I have Edmonton making it to the Western Conference Finals against, and this is going to be an even crazier take, the Vegas Golden Knights. They have the experience.
It's not a crazy
Edmonton
take.
Vegas. I have Edmonton making it to the finals on the Western side. Call me crazy. I think Connor McDubstep is finally gonna make it there. And then on the Eastern side, it pains me to say it, but I have the Rangers in the conference finals versus the Florida Panthers. I really wanted to pick Toronto.
Toronto chokes too much.
That matchup against
do you want me to give
Florida
you a tip?
Is just not good for them. Yeah, what's up?
Canadian teams do not win the Stanley Cup. It hasn't happened in like 20 years. It's not going to happen anytime soon.
I haven't told you my finals prediction.
Well, Edmonton must suck because you're probably not going to make it that far anyways because you have no goalie. And you're going to get smacked and no Canadian teams winning. I can promise you that.
Well, people said Vegas had no goalie going in the playoffs last year, and look what happened. But I have the Rangers versus the Panthers in the conference finals. I have the Rangers making it. Edmonton versus New York. I have the Edmonton Oilers winning the cup. It's going to happen.
You're disgusting.
They're breaking the Canadian curse.
How are you from America and picking a Canadian team? What is wrong with you?
I don't have any beef with the Canadian teams. I have beef with Boston, New York, which I hate.
Well, so do I, but I don't want to see a Canadian win. At least be an American team.
I want to see Connor McDavid win a
all the Canadians say that the Americans suck at hockey. Guess what? We know how to run an organization better than you guys, though.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. But I think, look, I want to see Connor McDavid win a cup. I think this is the year to do it. So
it won't happen.
That's my predictions. Chris, what do you or Gabe or whoever is up next?
Rangers versus Panthers. Give me the Panthers. They've upset the greatest team in hockey. They could do it to the Rangers. Don't even doubt it. Matthew Tkachuk is that guy. They still have a bunch of their guys. Okay, they lost Radko Gudas. They still got a bunch of their guys though. It's the playoff. Bro, Radko Gudas was a big loss. He was really good in the playoffs last year. He really affected them. He was a really good trash talker, and he was aggressive.
Radko Gudas.
Bro, he was aggressive. And guess what? You're gonna hear who my pick is for the championship, and you're probably gonna like it. Moving on, I have the Avalanche meeting the Canucks.
Ooh, the Canucks?
Yeah. The Avalanche has won a Stanley Cup recently.
Yeah, I was just gonna I'm putting the pieces together right now. Hold on.
There's a difference. There's a big difference. One actually has a goalie. First off, one has a goalie. You don't have a goalie, you're gonna end up like the Flyers. You're gonna drop 9 goals. Huh?
Vegas didn't have a goalie last year. They had Aiden Hill, who they got as a free agent.
Aiden Hill is good.
He's good now, but nobody thought he was good last year.
Do you see the defense he played with on Vegas?
Edmonton has a great defense. Dude, your takes are crazy. What?
Edmonton?
Yes,
Edmonton's an
Edmonton has a great
offense-powered
defensive
team.
core. Yeah,
Edmonton's an
but they also have a
offense-powered
solid D
team.
core.
They don't. They
Dude,
don't.
okay, whatever. Okay,
Their goalie's
I'm not going to interrupt. Keep
awful.
going.
They're gonna let up
Keep
like
going. Keep going.
8 goals in a
Keep going.
playoff game.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's fine.
The
It's okay.
Avalanche have been to a Stanley Cup before. They can
They
try
have.
and make that push again. They're a very good team. Do not underestimate them. That they were in third because of 1 point. They were almost in second. In a heavy central. Now, why the Canucks? Why the Canucks, you're asking, right? Who's the best defenseman in the league? Oh, Ben. Who's the best defenseman in the league?
Well, I mean, I know what your point is going to be, so just
Well,
say
what
it.
what is my point?
You're going to say Lebedev is the best defenseman. Who I'm not going to spoil it. You can say his name. Say his name.
Quinn Hughes. Am I wrong?
He's not the best. I mean, there's an argument to be had, but he's definitely
There's an argument to be had. This guy ended with almost 75 assists. 75 almost. He had 74. Are you kidding me? All right, listen. If you know hockey well, you would know that one of the biggest stats in hockey
Adam
is
Fox
plus
is the
minus.
best defenseman in the league, but
no, he's not. Is plus minus is one of the biggest stats in hockey. Correct?
I guess, yeah.
He is a plus 39. 39. Do you know how big that is? Put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way, right? You're a big Travis Konechny guy, correct?
Relatively so, yeah.
Okay. That's what I assumed. Travis Konechny is the best player on the Flyers. You would agree, right?
Yeah.
You would agree too, right, Gabe?
Yeah.
Okay. Travis Konechny had a 68-point season and was only a +6 as the best player on the Flyers.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would use that comp.
Is a plus 39. 39. He is by far the best defenseman in the league. They have a great goalie. They have an amazing forward core. Elias Pettersson, dog. JT Miller is one of, if not a top 10 player in the league, and he's mad underrated, and he's so good. Every year since him and Tyler Myers started kicking it, they just put the gears on it. He kept going. Tyler Myers fell off a little bit, but JT Miller is an absolute animal. That's why I have them going there. But they're going to wind up losing to Colorado. Colorado will be in the Stanley Cup versus Florida.
Hey, I just want to tell you, Mr. Big Plus Minus guy, Matthias Ekholm on Edmonton at a better plus minus at plus 44. So, but their defense sucks.
They do suck.
Yeah.
They do suck.
Matthias Ekholm just had
How many minutes did he play?
I don't have that pulled up. He played 78 games though.
Yeah, you don't have minutes though. I need minutes here.
He averaged 21 minutes a game, where Quinn Hughes averaged. Why is it not on here?
More than 21.
I'm trying to find it. I don't know why.
More than 21.
Yeah, he averaged 24. So
that's 3 less minutes. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. No, it actually is a big deal. Ice time. It's a big deal.
Finish your predictions. We're running out of time here.
Colorado versus Florida. Florida's gonna win it. Sergei Bobrovsky is going to get his first ring, and I'm going to cry my eyes out as I watch him hoist the Stanley Cup. Former Flyer should have kept him. I'm gonna be sad, but I'm gonna love it every second of it.
Valid.
Yeah.
Just to highlight my bracket real quick, there was some talk about the Maple Leafs. I think it was Ben that mentioned them wanting to pick them. They just came off their 19-year drought, snapping it last season, I believe, right? With their first postseason series victory in like 19
they
years.
Stink.
They're going right back. They're going right back to that drought. They're dropping the Florida Panthers in 6. I would say. And then I also have. What's that face?
What? Them beating the Panthers?
No, the Panthers being them.
Oh, the Panthers.
Yeah, no,
beating them.
no, they're going right back to that
My
drought.
fault. My
Yeah,
fault. I
no,
was
all
about to
good.
say.
And then my Stanley Cup, I got the Dallas Stars, New York Rangers, and I have the Stars winning it in 6.
I feel like the Stars aren't getting enough love. They've been a really solid team this year in a stacked Central. They're the top team in the Central. So that's a good pick. I like that.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
So that is our NHL finals. Going into this last bit, we are going to give our top 5 prospects for the NFL. Like I said
All
earlier,
right.
this is not off of talent or
All right.
like our top 5 prospects in the draft. And this is going to
All right.
preview our next week's episode, which will be strictly NFL draft. Who would like to start?
I'll go. I'll do like. Why don't we just go one at a time, maybe, or something, just
All
so
right,
we don't.
you know what? Start with the 5th guy on your list, then you move up to 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll go with that.
Oh, I didn't make my list like that. I just have like 5 guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just say the last guy you had on your list.
Okay. Let me scroll down here
For
a little bit
me,
because
I'm gonna go with Chop Robinson. I love
Okay.
Chop. He's a dog. I want him to get drafted first round. It seems like the way it's been within the recent month that, other guys have kind of moved their way in to the first round and that it's looking like he's falling off a little bit, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I think he should be a first round pick in my opinion, but I could see him going early second.
Yeah. I like Jonathan Brooks. He's the best running
It's an
back in this
interesting
class
pick.
in a
I disagree.
in a what is considered a weak running back class. In my opinion, he's the best running back, and I think
I
he's going to come
disagree.
in and play a really solid role on a team. He's probably going to go to a good team. And people that think Blake Corum is better than him are psychos.
Yeah, call
But
me psycho
yeah,
then. I am psycho
you're a
then.
psycho, bro. Did you see what look at the offensive lines?
Don't care.
Like it's just anyway. That's my guy, my favorite running back in this year's draft.
And
Gabe,
number
what about
5
you?
for me, I have Michael Penix. While he wasn't like
I
really a
like that.
fan favorite of mine,
I like that though.
I love watching him play at Washington. And it was also a little bit of an interesting factor for me too, just seeing like with all this hype around the top 3 quarterbacks and now top 4 if we want to include JJ McCarthy. What does that mean for that like next tier of quarterbacks being him and Bo Nix? What does that mean? Where do they fall now? Are they second rounders? Do they move up with that? I'm curious to see what happens.
I like that pick a lot. I do like that pick. Moving on to my 4th. Neither of you are gonna know who this guy is. Neither of you, because he's that underrated. In my personal opinion, somebody I also really look up to in terms of football knowledge. He runs a YouTube channel called The Philly Special Show. If you don't know, dude is a stud. I love that guy. He produces like 10-minute episodes about, it feels like 6 times a week. He's really, really consistent, really good at what he does. Gabe, you wouldn't watch him because he talks strictly Eagles. But moving on, Mohamed Kamara is his name. He goes to Michigan State. He will be the steal of the draft. I 100% agree with the Philly Special Show after watching film on this kid. He's going to be the steal of the draft. There's some issues that he has that are very coachable, though, and very fixable. So, with that being said, his holes will be fixed very easily.
What position is he? I haven't heard of him. So
I think he's an edge.
an edge. Okay. Yeah.
There's
I
either
do
an
like.
edge or a linebacker.
I
One of the
really
two.
like the edges in this class, and that transitions perfectly to my favorite edge in the class. Let me. I might butcher his name. Leatao Latau. Is that close?
Laiatu Latu.
Oh, Leatu Latu. Thank you. I'm so
Yeah,
bad
no,
at names, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mohamed Kamara is at the end. So change it.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, he has a lot of athletic upside. Usually, I've
dude.
talked about this. I don't like guys that haven't produced necessarily, and he hasn't produced at the college level the way, you would want a guy like that to. But he's just super, super, super athletic. And look, I mean, he did have 13 sacks this past season, which is pretty solid, especially on a pretty weak UCLA team. He was pretty much their lone bright spot. So I really like him in general as an athlete and as a player. So that's the guy I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of a QB heavy list. Coming in at number 4.
JJ.
Maybe later, but coming in at number 4, we have Spencer Rattler. Now, this one is purely, it's not really based off of I like this guy, I don't like this guy. It's just about what's going on, like what's going to be the deal with him, because he was a projected number 1 overall pick how many years ago now. He obviously lost his job to Caleb Williams at Oklahoma, transferred to South Carolina, and he is in the draft. I've been seeing a decent amount of praise from him recently. Where does he fall? They're saying he's a day 2 QB. Does that add fuel to the fire that now his understudy in Caleb Williams is now going to be the number 1 overall pick, and he's going to get partial ownership of the Chicago Bears potentially? What does this mean to him? Is he going to add this as fuel to the fire? Is he going to be a decent quarterback, or is he just going to be a career backup or be out of the league in a couple of years? I'm curious to see what happens with Spencer Rattler.
That's interesting. To throw it out there, by the way, just because while you're on the topic of heavy quarterbacks, like just quarterbacks in general, gotta throw it out there. Michael Pratt, you still suck. I hope you don't get drafted because you suck. If there's any Michael Pratt fans out there, sorry, not sorry. He sucks. Moving on. My favorite O lineman in the draft, I'm going with Jackson Powers Johnson. This dude is a freak.
Oh, you stole mine. I was going to do that one.
This dude is a freak. Like, he's so athletic.
He could be.
He's so athletic.
He could be.
I'm going to be honest. I really don't want the Eagles to pick an offensive lineman, but if they pick him, I won't be mad whatsoever. I will not be mad whatsoever.
If they trade down a little bit and pick him, I don't know.
You can't trade down, because if you trade down, the Steelers are going to pick him.
That is true. I like him, but my dream scenario for the Eagles, and this is a trade up, is my favorite. No, Quinion Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo, just 6 foot, 200, height, weight, speed, really good cover corner, and he's just really, really solid. I don't know why people are even arguing that he's not the best corner in this draft. And honestly, in my opinion, he's the best defensive player in this draft. The Eagles, if they want to get him, are going to have to trade up. But I really like this guy. He's amazing. And if you haven't watched his tape, you should. He's awesome.
So at number 3 for me, changing positions a little bit. I'm speaking it into existence. Our next top wide receiver at number 3, Malik Neighbors. Number 6 to the Giants. I can't say you heard it here first, because you've heard it here on like every single mock draft I've ever seen up to this point. I'm just praying that it's true.
Drake May.
I wouldn't be mad. There's only a couple people I'd be mad if we picked.
JJ.
But he called our QB situation into question, and I think that's great to put the front office in check, right? You're probably going to draft this guy no matter what he says about your team, but like, he's able to acknowledge, like, hey, we have Daniel Jones under contract, or hopefully we have Daniel Jones under contract, right, if he's a part of the Giants. You just signed Drew Lock, who is probably pretty, like, a decent amount better than the average backup quarterback. Now there's talk about maybe drafting Bo Nix in the 2nd round. Like, what is your strategy here? What are we doing here? And I like that he's calling that into question. Malik Neighbors, New York Giant.
Next up, I got my favorite quarterback in the entire draft. Give me my boy Jaden Daniels. He's going to be real good. Watch. He should get drafted 2nd overall, but it's looking like Drake May is going to be 2nd overall on the Commanders.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'd rather have Jaden Daniels not in my division anyway, since he's going to be better than Caleb Williams and Drake May. But go on.
I think Caleb Williams is a crazy thing to say. Anyway. I'm going to go to my 2nd favorite defensive player, Byron Murphy II, interior pass rusher from Texas. I think interior pass rush has become one of the most valued positions in the NFL, and I think he's going to make an instant impact and be excellent on whatever team he goes to.
He's going to be on Cincy.
Whatever team he goes to, he could fit on any team in the NFL. I feel like he's a great interior pass rusher. Like I'm not going to repeat myself. You heard what I said. Second best defensive player in the draft in my opinion, and my fourth player. But Gabe, to you.
Number 2, I hope I'm not stealing any of your picks, but you guys see this flag over here, right?
No,
I gotta
I
go Jordan
cannot
McGee.
see that.
I gotta
Jordan
go.
McGee.
I gotta go
I
Jordan
like it.
McGee. And I
I
like
like
him.
it.
Obviously, we're all fans of the guy. It's really cool when you see somebody play or literally go watch them play live at the link, and you're like, oh, this guy is like a decent amount better than the other players. I don't know what that means in terms of the grand scheme of things in the American Conference and the entire NCAA, but seeing him now be, I don't know where he's projected to go. I think I saw like one projection in the 7th round or maybe not getting drafted, but seeing guys like Jose Barbone who signed with the Cowboys, I think they're like last summer, 2 years ago, seeing him play at Temple was really cool just because, and now Jordan McGee, just because of how much better they are than the other players. And you're like, okay, this is really what it takes to be an NFL player or to be a fringe NFL player. So back to you, Chris.
My last player, I've gotten really more hype about this guy as of the draft went on, but I'm going with Cooper DeJean. I'm very, very excited to see
I was
what
thinking
he
about
does.
him. Yeah, there's a certain thing about him that makes him unique at the quarterback position. But
Oh, really?
some of you guys can you can use context clues to figure that out. But my last player, I'm gonna pick my second favorite edge. I think this is a really awesome edge class. Jared Verse from Florida State. 6'4", prototypical size on the outside, 260. Might want to cut that down 5 to 10 pounds, but elite athleticism. And I think guys like that, if you go to the right team and the right fit, you can coach them up to be an elite level pass rusher. And I really like him wherever he goes. But we'll see where he goes next week. I think we're going to do a mock draft next week. We'll figure out what we're going to do next week.
Yeah. It'll be everything next week.
Yeah.
All right. At number 1, I don't know what this man said in the interviews. I don't know what he did on the field, but J.J. McCarthy is now projected to be the 5th overall pick, which, if you do the math real quick, that is 1 pick before the New York Giants, who may or may not be in the market for a quarterback. I'm now a fan favorite of J.J. McCarthy, not because I think he's in the realm of possibility for the Giants, but because he might be selected before we even have the chance to get to him, which would be best case scenario, right? I do not want this guy on the team. I think it's way too risky. I think he has potential to be a good quarterback, obviously, but we just haven't seen him enough in a Michigan offense and a Big Ten kind of scenario where there's just so much defense involved that it's like, it's hard to make out what's really going on. And is he as good as Caleb Williams? Is he as good as Drake May? Most people say no, but like he's now in that realm of conversation, being that he's a top 5 pick. Seemingly, it's a consensus at this point in most mock drafts. So J.J. McCarthy, number 1.
To all the J.J. McCarthy haters, he will prove you wrong. Watch.
No, he will.
I don't think he will. I'm not sure.
I don't think he will. Dude, you can't say every quarterback in this first round is going to be good because there's a bust every year.
When did I say Caleb Williams was good?
You think Caleb Williams is going to bust?
That's a crazy pick for a bust.
Yeah, and guess what? We're going to save it for the next episode. We're going to save it for the next episode where we talk strictly draft and everything else. But that'll be it for today. So stay hyped, stay hungry, and keep the frenzy alive. And we'll see you on the next one.
I see those balloons. Yes, sir.